back to the GameDay Squad Rugby League show. We are done and dusted for another week where I have extended my lead. Josh, how does it feel? You're down 7-5, mate. You were so confident last week.
I'm gutted. I'm honestly gutted. I thought I had you.
You should be gutted, mate, because you're so confident. That's why I wanted to start this episode with a bang.
I think I should explain myself first.
Go ahead.
I thought I had him, but I played another player who wasn't playing, Adam Elliott. They had the bye, and I swapped out Adam for Neil Blake, just realising he wasn't playing. I'm like, yes, I got it in time.
Right.
And yeah.
That's a good omen for next week. Newcastle Knights beating the Dogs, eh?
No. I've got the hat on, mate. Back in.
Yeah, Dogs got the win. Well done.
The hat's back.
So I had Burton and Crichton actually did all right for me. So thanks for that. But honestly, Josh, it's very tough. Yeah. I finished with a rank of 76 and a score of 961. So I was pretty impressed with that, considering I had Hines.
Yeah. That's a good finish for you. 958 for me, fallen 3 points short.
958, 3 points short.
3 points short. I finished 80th. So
wow,
I think one player, probably one player out of the top 20.
Yeah,
I would say.
The craziest thing is, and we'll get to it in my miss. I guess we'll save it for that.
Yeah.
I'll save it for that. I'm ready to go straight into strike, spare, misses, our first segment. And we know it's one of your favorite segments because it's the accountability part and it's a bit of a flex as well. So I'll start with my flexi and go that Val was my strike, and I don't think Josh had a higher strike than Val. 94, finally a near perfect performance from Valentine Holmes. He scored 22 points himself, so actually, like, to score 22 points, he didn't miss a tackle and he got a sin bin.
With a sin bin.
Yeah. So imagine there was no sin bin there and he had an extra 10 minutes on the field. I reckon Val goes 115.
Yeah. I mean, you would have had a different strike this week if you played. Let's not talk about that.
Let's not talk about that. We'll get to that soon. Who was your strike?
My strike, a player actually brought into the team this week, into the squad, Ewan Aiken. 88 points, silver card, 51 tackles, 1 missed, 4 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 80 post-contact meters.
Man, Aiken's a freak.
Some solid base stats right there.
And that was a tough game too.
Yeah, and off the back of that, you have to play him again. For myself, I'm playing him again.
Yeah. The Dolphins have Canberra this week.
Canberra. And with those stats, no try. Add a try in there, 100 plus.
All right. Well, if ever a player played like that for you, you would have got the win, Josh. So that is a decent strike. Aiken's a quiet one too. I'd assume he'd be a pod. I wouldn't think too many people would have him in there.
Yep.
So what was that? 88 with the silver card?
Silver card. So
okay.
80 base.
So around 80 base.
Yeah. 80 bronze.
Okay, nice. My spare, Brian To'o, 49 points. I played a gold card. Look, Penrith won 42-0, and the reason why he's a spare is because he didn't get a line break, assist, no try assist, no try. Still to get 49 in base as a gold card, it's still good. That's why it's a spare, but it really could have been that strike if he crossed the white line.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the average game for him is pretty good.
It is pretty good, yeah. Definition of a spare this week. So thank you, Bizza, and hopefully you can pull up a great performance in the sky blue jersey next week.
Yes. Well, my spare, Joseph Tarpany.
Your favourite?
Yeah, I do. I love him. I play him every week. But 31 points, that hits hard.
Who did he verse?
Didn't really see much of the footy and probably missed a fair few tackles as well in that middle.
Yeah, he did.
We don't usually see Tarpany get worked around the middle. Usually he's
their 4-pack, I wouldn't say got bullied.
No, I didn't. But
they didn't stand up to us.
Yeah, no. The post-contact meters weren't there for him where he probably would gain about 15, 20 points just off that.
Yeah.
And offloading where he was just limited this game. So I'd say for future Tarpany, if he has a tougher opponent, maybe don't play him. You know, if we have Payne Haas, you'd play him most weeks. But a player like Tarpany kind of needs to have his team backing him up as well.
I reckon he needs that off week, that reset here and there as well.
Yeah.
This is probably the reset game for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh, I've got 2 people in the miss category. So since I won, I'll let you say your miss first.
Yeah, okay. My miss, a player I had to bring in last minute because Cody Walker was out. Ezra Mann.
Ezra. How did he go?
20 points with a try. It's tough.
I think Ezra had about 8 missed tackles.
Yeah.
8 or 9 missed tackles.
That's his downfall.
And that takes up, I mean, without those, he'd be 40. Around 40 points.
Minimum. So a player that I wouldn't pick in front of any other player in probably the whole comp, But I had to play him because I was limited on cards, which is why you need so many backup cards. But it is what it is.
And open your packs, buy your packs, hit the transfer market, listen to our advice every week, because then you don't get put in this position. But it's tough when it's last minute as well.
Yeah.
So who was out last minute? It was Cody.
It wasn't really last minute, but I just didn't have anyone to bring in.
All
the halves are out, so...
Yeah, it's tough week for the halves. But honestly, Broncos, they scored, 30 points? You'd think Ezra would have a better game than that. But
yeah, that's true.
The downside of his defense just...
That just shows you need every play has to be perfect.
That's right. And speaking of perfection, I did have the top scorer, Keon Kualamatangi, mate. Platinum card. I've got a platinum key on, and I put him in my squad at the start of the week. And I was like, nah, you're for real. Like, what have Souths done all year? I took him out. He would have scored me, guess.
Well over 100.
143.
That's not probably the highest this year.
It probably is the highest this year. I would have had 143 from a platinum key on, and I didn't play, so that's why I've got 2 misses here, and the 2 misses aren't even in my squad. That's a bit of a flex.
That's right.
I would have had 96 from a Silver Tedesco, who I didn't end up playing, and I thought I'd played him. I even messaged Josh on the weekend saying, like, time for Teddy to tear up, like, incoming points,
so
send a few rocker emojis, and then I realised I had Reece Walsh and Scott Drinkwater.
Well, that's not too bad. But
not bad at all, but I could have had 96 from a Silver Teddy. Instead, I played a Silver Brandon Smith who got 30, I think. So that's technically my miss. But, man.
You stuffed up there.
I stuffed up
big
time. You could have
finished first,
I could have finished.
You could have close to it.
I'd say top 20.
Yeah, top 20. That's what I mean. You got to take your chances, mate.
Yeah, and I didn't. I got the win over Josh. I'm up 7-5, but still none of us have cracked the top 10.
Who cracked top 20 yet?
Not top 20 either. But I think top 10 was the goal.
Yeah, it was. That's rough.
Look, we move on.
I mean, it was always next week.
On the radar. Who are we going with on the radar?
Alrighty. My radar player. Someone I already have in the squad, but this is just advice. I say watch out for Armstrong. Keep an eye on him. I think,
it's interesting you say that.
When Ponga does come back, how does he lose that position playing so well? Just Ponga slide into the halves? We don't know. We know we've tried it before, but if he just keeps playing consistent footy, how do you not bring him into your squad?
Well, that's the thing, Josh. I've actually got him in my transfer market segment.
Here we go.
Because I genuinely think, I'll touch on it in more detail there, but how do you go away from attacking through Armstrong for the night side who don't have Ponga? Like, what do you actually do?
Yeah, it's true.
Armstrong, look at Magic Round, scored a hat-trick. And he's been a proven try scorer. He pops up in every situation. We've got bye round this week. Less people playing. But your squads are going to take a hit.
This is why he's on the radar, but because he's up against the doggies.
Oh. And here I am. I'm thinking in my head, like, I've got him in my transfer market. Why is he on the radar for Josh? I was like, surely you need someone like Armstrong this week when barely anyone's playing. And here it is. The Bulldogs bye swings back.
We win the comp, mate. So
unbelievable.
I don't think Debutan's going to
You're going to put me to sleep talking about the Bulldogs,
he's looking to tear up our middle, but that's why he's on the radar for it.
We'll see what happens. I reckon Knights 13 plus this week again, just quietly, because we look at them. They're at home, coming off a bye. You look at the dog side. They've got no Crichton, no Burden, no Kickow.
Doesn't matter. Up
Three
against
best
the wall.
players,
up against the wall. We love it.
Yep, mate. You can... So you can say what you want to say. Honestly, we'll move on to On the Radar from my perspective, from a much better rugby league outfit, the Sydney Roosters. Now, this player is on the radar because they scored 67. It's the first time they've ever played big minutes for the club. So credit to this person. He's proved himself week in, week out. He's tried so hard. He got dropped, missed a couple of weeks, came back and got that starting 13 position because Connor Watson was out injured, and that's Nafahu White. He has been, honestly, the most underrated player in the Roosters outfit, I reckon, the whole year. He's just come in and done a job. Like, towards the back end of last year was Terrell May, and everyone started talking about May. But then you look at White come through, and he's done an incredible job. I don't think he's got the upside that May has in terms of the attacking stats, but he's a workhorse. He can play. This is the first time I'm playing big minutes, so I don't want to say he can play big minutes, but I'm hoping to. That's why he's on the radar. I know when Connor Watson gets back, it's going to be hard. I don't think he nails that 13 position. But now you've got Egan Butcher, who unfortunately has done his ACL. You've got Angus Crichton playing Origin. You've got Lenu playing Origin. There's gaps now. And obviously Connor's still out. I think Nafahu White plays 13 again. He scored 67, Josh. I think he missed 2 tackles the whole game. Can he keep that 13 jersey until Connor Watson gets back? And when Connor gets back, can he keep it past that point? We don't know. That's why he's on the radar. But he scored 67 points and played, 65 minutes or something?
Yep.
So, I mean, if he plays 55, 60 minutes...
Just for this week?
This week, he's scoring 60 points. So, I don't see why... I don't see why you wouldn't take a look at him. What are your thoughts on something like that? Because we know the middles are hard, but...
It's not... A card that's not too expensive. Probably could somehow fit it in. If you don't have the bronze, you have to pick up a silver.
Yeah, he wouldn't be expensive.
If you can fit it in the squad, why not? For 1 week. See how he goes. But yeah, like you said, minutes plays a big part. So
yeah. So hopefully he keeps up the big minutes for the big boy. But that's why I've got on the radar. I don't have a second player on the radar this week, only because it is the bye week coming up. So I wouldn't say there's more that are on my radar. It's more about look at your squad, pay attention to team lists as well.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be so many changes, obviously, but you might see some more young guns getting their opportunity to shine. So
yeah,
could be opportunity there. You could have a card. How often do we see we've got a card and we're like, oh, that guy, he hasn't even played. That guy could be playing this week. So
literally.
I don't know. I'd have a look at that and go from there. But do you have anyone else on the radar or?
Yeah, transfer market.
Or
if you don't have him, didn't get selected for Origin, ready for a big game. Can you guess who it is?
Tedesco.
No.
Don't tell me Latrell.
No. Latrell's going to buy. I'm going Josh Adokar. Hat-trick against Newcastle.
I reckon take that hat off.
That leads to my prediction. Josh Adokar hat-trick against Newcastle.
No way.
It's going to happen.
I reckon Tedesco is more likely to score 3 tries than Adokar.
Yeah, listen, man. Let's not take it that way. We're talking about Adokar here.
We're talking about bouncing back from not being picked for Origin.
Okay, but
I think Teddy... Hard done by.
Listen, this is my.
All right, you guys
market.
waste your money in transfer market if you listen to Josh, who's down 7-5.
Especially if you already have him in one of your cards. I'm sure you do. You have to play him this week. Bounce back week, hat trick, minimum 70 points from Adokar. Mate, that's all I'm going to say.
If you want to jump into prediction from now, mate, I'm saying Roosters put 50 on the Cowboys.
50?
And Tedesco will outscore Josh Adokar this week. That's my prediction then.
That's making fun of the Cowboys.
Let them be made fun of. The Tigers scored 28 points against them. 28 points. The Tigers. Now they lose Val, they lose Nanai, they lose Dearden.
True.
Who else they lose? Cotter.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, 50 in the house. Bounce, please. Tedesco going to outscore Adokar. That's my prediction. And the Roosters to put 50 on the Cowboys.
Clip that up.
But we'll jump into clip that up because we'll jump into it here in the transfer market segment. I'm going Armstrong, right? And I've got some notes here. I've come extra prepared this week because when you go up 7-5,
we're going back to Armstrong.
Yeah, just for transfer market because you had him on your radar, but I got in transfer market because he is versing the Bulldogs, right? So match up against the Dogs here. It's a weakened dog side. They're without their 3 best players. Apart from Karaz, in my opinion, they're without their 3 best players in Burton, Kikau, Crichton. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Knights coming off a bye. Lack of options this week with a lot of teams having the bye and a lot of players on Origin duties. Get Armstrong in your squad. But if you've got James Tedesco, prioritise that Teddy card, in my opinion. Next guy on the transfer market for me is a Roostler in our back line that isn't James Tedesco. Who do you reckon it is?
Manu.
It is Manu. I think he's got an easy matchup this week. Honestly, he scored 61 in an effortless game. Sure, he bagged 2 tries, but he didn't even use his outside man in Dom Young. So imagine when he does use Dom Young this week. All right, line break assist, try assist, couple more cheeky tackle breaks and offload.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's going to be a score of 100 plus. Like he could well and truly score the same.
It would be embarrassing if you guys lost. It would be.
He's talking about a loss. I'm talking about points. Josh, you can't be anti-Roosters on this site because we're here to talk about GameDay Squad and the points.
Wait.
Don't you worry about Joe Manu.
Back to Armstrong.
Here we go.
When
back to Armstrong.
They had a fit Newcastle side. Not only, say, 5 rounds ago, Doggies demolished.
You guys were the favourites.
Doggies demolished 36-12, only letting in 12 points.
That was a bounce back game for the Dogs. Revenge after getting put on like 66-0 to them last. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, we were talking about last year.
If you want to talk about,
I'm talking about this year.
But if you want to talk about pulling up things from the past,
that was with Ponga. Now we're talking about without Ponga.
Yeah, I think Knights have played better since Ponga's gone. Controversial opinion, but look at the stats, mate. The stats don't lie. So last year, Knights beat the Dogs 66-0 at a core stadium, 66-0.
Well,
Shout out to Jason David. He got taken to the sheds that game, rough as. Then later in the season, they lost 42-6. The Dogs lost
talking about last year.
42-6. Yeah, so you had to come back this year. Like, coach is probably like, hey guys, we've been shut on by this club. We've conceded 108 points to them in 2 games. We've got to do something.
The utilities we have.
You won.
This week, we're unstoppable. I'm telling you.
Unstoppable.
Wilson, Blake Taff, all back in the squads, bruv. You don't understand. We're going to get this win.
I'm grateful that I don't understand. If I were to understand how you would understand, I would be so hopeful for no reason.
Mate,
look,
Newcastle are struggling.
Josh, I've gone through transfer market, so I'm going to jump into stats don't lie already.
Here you go.
Because look at this stat.
Of course against the Bulldogs.
Of course.
Of course.
The last 3 games against the Dogs, Knights have averaged 40 points, which include an absolute demolishing of 108 points put on them last year. 108.
That was your stat for the last time we versed them. That didn't work out.
Look, Josh, you can make fun of my stat last time, but given that the Dogs are missing players, I like to stack up on Knights outside backs. I think Jackson Hastings is another pod option.
Yeah.
I think Margie goes in for a couple. Armstrong goes in for a couple.
Listen, all I'm saying is that you're forgetting that off the back of a tight win against Titans, which is controversial that Titans probably should have won that game. With Brian,
but Titans just beat the Broncos.
Yeah, but the weekend Broncos are weekend Broncos.
And now Knights are facing a weakened Dogs.
No, but I'm saying...
And there's levels to Broncos and Dogs.
Knights should have lost that game. Going into the bye off that game doesn't give you high hopes. You're not in the good mood.
If I were Newcastle Knights and I could pick when I wanted my week off, it's after Magic Round only just beating the Titans. So it's come at the right time.
Also a tight win over the Tigers. So really they're not in the hottest form.
I think the Tigers are better than the Bulldogs.
And the Doggies have just put on 44 points against the Dragons.
Because Burden got to play at 6.
Okay, but it's all about mentality. You're bringing in winning mentality.
I feel like you lose 3 of your best players. Winning mentality or not.
You're not bringing in inexperienced players. You're bringing in a Blake Taff.
We'll see what happens here, man. You've caught a Josh Adokar hat-trick.
Yeah, and a Haddock hat-trick. That's all I'm going to say.
Man, jeez.
We can move on now.
We'll move on to the next stat. Okay. If you take out our shock loss to the Cowboys in Magic Round last year, the last 5 games against the Cowboys, we've seen the Roosters put an average of 33 points up per game. Now with our attack looking the best it's looked in a long time these last 4 weeks, and the Cowboys without their best players, I'd expect Teddy to fire up and the Roosters to put a huge score on. So I'm saying red, white and blue and the red and blue. Newcastle Knights,
This guy.
Sydney Roosters. Stack up on players from those teams, especially the outside backs where you're going to see a lot of fast points happening. Agree or disagree?
Now, if your stats don't lie, they don't lie. But
Yeah, because if Josh disagrees, I dare you to not play any Roosters player.
I'm playing one. I'm playing 1. I'm playing 2.
See, by the end of the show, it'll be 3 or 4. They're my stats for the week.
That's fair enough.
Now, Josh, do you have any stats?
Actually, I was reading up on something.
Here we go.
So-
If it's Bulldogs related, I leave.
So ever since, this is off the top of my head, I remembered it.
Okay.
Ever since the Dragons and Penrith Panthers have been able to verse since 1999, they've played 38 games.
Yeah.
Can you guess their record?
How many games have they played?
38 games. That's how many games they've versed each other.
All right, I think Dragons have won 20, Penrith 18.
Hang on. There's no way you didn't know that.
I swear I did not know that.
Well, that's the record. It's pretty close.
I'm a genius.
It's pretty close. So
That is close.
to think how well
Dragons.
Penrith have been going, you'd think they've probably won every single time.
Yeah.
But Dragons had the lead on them. So to say that, let's not check it because I'm pretty sure it's right because I've researched it.
All I want to see is that the last 4 games, Penrith have won,
Yeah.
and 3 of them have been the Dragons' home.
So let's just say that's days in the heavy hands of the Dragons. Can they keep their lead to 3 now? To 3 ahead of the Penrith Panthers. That stat doesn't lie.
Yeah, it doesn't lie, does it? But do the Dragons lie? They are a dirty merger club. They have 3 home grounds. Never try. If someone told me, "Oh
This
yeah,
is
I
ever
live
since
here,"
they
and then
merged.
they live in 2 other places, I'm like,
Yeah, but okay, this is after 1999. So
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Josh. That doesn't lie.
yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I'll give you that. Now, fan questions. We've got 2 questions this week, so it'll be a shortened episode because obviously we've got Origin and less matchups to go through and things like that. But we will go through the fan questions. With so many players out, who do I play in my fullback position this week? Looking to play 2. Yeah, I'm thinking play 2 every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 fullbacks. So the matchups, I'll read them out for the listeners. We've got Parramatta up against Sharks. We've got Knights up against Dogs. Panthers up against Dragons. Dolphins against Raiders. Roosters against Cowboys. I would go with Teddy and Armstrong.
Yep. I'd go Teddy.
Who's going to play fullback for Penrith?
It's tough.
Do you reckon Taruva plays fullback?
Maybe. Well, I don't think they really have an option. Maybe Dane Laurie.
Laurie
might play fullback. It's hard to go. You know, that's actually a hard pick. You'd go Teddy. Wow.
It is hard. This is a really good question. I mean, I've personally, like I said,
Dragons.
Teddy and Armstrong.
Do you go past Sloan?
I just feel like Sloan, there's so many errors up for grabs.
Weekend Penrith side. It is a weak Penrith side. That's probably 25% of Penrith, full strength, not playing.
Yeah, I do. I understand the argument for Sloan, but I'd have to disagree just because of the amount of errors he makes. Like,
fair enough.
Respectfully, I could be putting up bombs to him and he'll still knock it on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going Armstrong Teddy.
Okay, I'll go Sloan Teddy.
Sloan Teddy. All right, beautiful. Next question. Who do I play at hooker this week? Hoping to play one hooker. So you got number 9. You want to be looking for attacking upside with your number 9.
I've got Blake Brayley.
Brayley up against Para?
Yes. I think he's been very consistent. His base stats might be able to pick some spots in a weak Parasite at the moment. Mm-hmm. And obviously no Hopgood now. Upside.
Okay. I think Reid Marnie's got a tough one ahead of him and he's got to really show up as a leader and, you know, hopefully don't give away too many penalties. Look out on the error count as well and he'll be getting through a mountain of tackles. So I go Reid Marnie, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But, there are 2 questions this week. My question for you, Josh, is how confident do you feel about getting a win? Because it's still close, mate, 7-5.
Oh, yeah. No, it's...
But you had me there on ropes.
I thought it was going to be 6-6.
Yeah.
By this day. But, look, you know what? Makes it more competitive.
It does. Fan questions, as always, put in the comment section, put in the Discord, DM us, follow us at SportsShedTV on all socials. And GameDay Squad have got something really, really exciting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In terms of what they've got happening for Origin. So I don't know if we'll reveal... There'll be videos up on our page. It's been released already. But I'm sure next week's episode will cover a lot or might be able to do something special around it. So stay tuned for that. And any exciting news about SportsShed TV that you want to drop before we wrap it up? Anything you want to let them know? We're going to keep cards to yourself?
I think we just keep it to ourselves.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got something exciting coming up.
I'm just going to say stay strong with your squads because it's a tough week.
It's a tough week. Josh knows what a tough week looks like. Good luck, everyone. Tedesco to outscore Josh Adokar. Don't forget it.
Back next week.
Best of luck.